What's up, beautiful PewTubers? It's your boy Justin with Cerebral Firearms, and today we are finally bringing you the 4,000 round review of my 10.5-inch Jakl chambered in 5.56. I have to admit, I kind of enjoyed this gun a little too much over the past 3 months, but the start of my Jakl journey was a bit rough to say the least. It was a lot of fun to bring 3 Jakls into this testing, a couple of upper kits, and a full build, along with suppressed and unsuppressed shooting. We used various types of ammo, including 77, 55, and 62 grains, but let's get into how it did next. First introduced as a concept piece at SHOT Show 2020, the Jakl has had many ideations before coming to the consumer market in 2022. I waited a couple months, played with some of my buddies, and then finally received one early January. This was finally my time to run the hell out of one, and that's just what I did. Every range trip, every class, every time I could, I ran the Jakl. And to this date, the only issue I have with it is that I'm not shooting it at this very moment. Now, before I get into much more, I want to let you in on something YouTube has been doing. YouTube has been playing a rough and hard game with channels like mine. So if you enjoy some of the content, please make sure you like and subscribe. We also have various affiliate links in the description, or you can reach it on our website. These are companies we use a lot and generously help the channel if you shop via the link. Now that that's over, the first Jakl I shot was a bit of a letdown. After much waiting, taking it to the range, and enduring failure to feed and a bounty of trigger malfunctions, frustration began to set in quickly, but my hopes were not easily swayed. If you refer to some of my past shorts, you can see some of these highlighted. Now, posting videos on YouTube made this situation even more agitating, as every gunsmith with a keyboard was quick to try to point blame at the shooter. Unsuspectingly, I was contacted by a random person who turned out to be an engineer at PSA who just so happens to know a little bit about the Jakl. With a new trigger, a bit of lube, and some break-in time, she began to open up. But this was my buddies, who purchased it the day it came online. I needed one of my own now. I purchased my upper kit back in January, and it quickly became one of my go-to range toys. Although it was not immediately trusted, the Jakl rapidly gained my respect and ended up as an easy addition to my home defense setup. I was way too eager to shoot this new platform that 1,000 rounds went by within a week's time, and I just kept going. Now that we hit the 4,000 mark with a single platform, I wanted to discuss why I'm in love with the Jakl and some of the disadvantages I found along the way. When you see the Jakl in person, you immediately notice a few things that sets it apart from the rest of the 5.56 platforms. The bufferless long-stroke piston-driven system makes for a tiny package, especially with the redesigned barrel. And yes, it is completely proprietary. Similar to barrels in the AR-15 platform, the Jakl barrels are made in-house using 4150V chromoly vanadium steel with a 1 in 7 twist rate. The thing that sets the Jakl barrel apart is that it includes a turn down in the first journal of the barrel for clearance and a different barrel extension which doubles as a front trunnion. Shrouding the barrel is a 6105 monolithic upper with M-lock slots at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. It also has 2 QD slots and a 1913 Picatinny rail from the rear to the end of the upper. The rear of the firearm also comes equipped with a 1913 rail, right for your choice of stock after you file for the stamp. Right, ATF? Now, I bought the last round that actually came with triangle braces. These were kind of pitiful. They quickly bent with the vigors of shooting the first couple hundred rounds and left me needing something more rigid. So I already had an SBR lower that I slapped on there as quickly as possible. Now, the PSA Jakl in its own essence is a long stroke piston design with a Carpenter 158 bolt and a 4340 carrier. This makes it an AK-AR hybrid. The side charging handle is ambidextrous and super easy to change out from its sled, With this in mind, my Jakl has undergone many different setups since she landed in my hands and has yet to meet her final look. Always changing due to the needs, the new charging handle put out by PSA has been the most recent change I made and one I am very happy with. It changed how it feels to charge the firearm along with its unfortunate wiggle that came with the OEM charging handle. Hopefully my lead and steel Promethean LP1 red dot comes in soon so I can pair it with a new stock and a flashlight. Now that most of the tip to butt action is complete, let's get into how it felt to shoot. I made sure to keep the gas block at the first position for the first 1,000 rounds, but I really wanted to push it to see if I could fine tune the firearm. The Jakl comes with 2 gas blocks. One is for suppressed, and the OEM gas block that's installed is for everything else. The only true issue that occurred during the testing of this firearm was after about 680 rounds. During a trip to an indoor range about halfway through a mag, I pulled the trigger and it didn't discharge the bullet. The live round was lodged into the barrel and was not ejecting. Using the OEM charging handle it came with, I was not able to mortar the firearm as you would with an AR-15, but through some miracle, the primer must have been too hard because after resetting the trigger, I was able to shoot the round off and eject the cartridge easily thereafter. That's the extent of issues I found through 4,000 rounds of pure joy. It is equipped with a toolless 4-position gas block. Now this allows for ease to quickly adjust your gas block by hand when needed. I was able to tune the gas to the 2nd and 3rd gas setting if I was not shooting extremely fast, but definitely found myself with trigger freeze if I tried to shoot groups of 3 or more. My finger would depress the action before the gun had a chance to cycle with such little help from gas. The Jakl is a little bit on the heavier side, as most piston-driven systems tend to be. With the addition of a beefy red dot or LPVO, a D-ball, a flashlight, and a stock, the Jakl starts to feel heavier in the hand than a typical Mark 18. Now for ammunition, I utilized mostly 55 grain American Eagle, 62 grain Remington, and some 77 grain remans from Freedom Munitions. The 55 grain was the most accurate out of all 3, under 2 MOA from 50 to 100 yards. When paired with a suppressor, adding even more weight to the front end, this is where she truly found her groove. I was able to make first and follow-up shots onto silhouette steel targets extremely easy. The Jakl is very fun to shoot, and with a few upgrades to her, truly shines in her performance. A bit heavy in the front, but I would take this rifle into any fight and feel extremely comfortable. She's definitely earned a decent makeover and a place in my top 3 favorite rifles to shoot currently. With a well-earned facelift in her very near future, I'm excited to continue bringing her to every range trip.